The stream is live.
It's saying the stream is live, but we're not streaming to Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Instagram connection I have on my page, there it goes.
Oh, yep, we're live.
Why, hello, everybody. Oh, my God. This has been a nightmare to try to figure this out. I don't know what's going on, but Instagram is the death of me. And we've got this thing going. We've been sitting here for 12 minutes trying to get this going. So I'm just going to act like nothing has ever happened and I'm okay. And I'm not going to lose my mind because Instagram is driving me insane. So here we go. We are here. Let me go ahead and pretend like we're just beginning. Oh, look. Welcome. Let's see. Does it even play it? Does it play it? Yes. Tits and Tea podcast. Let's bring James to the stage.
Hey, girl, you did it. You pulled it out.
I don't know what's going on.
Gremlins,
Every time I would go onto Instagram, it's almost like I need to go live in the stream in StreamYard first for a minute, for like 30 seconds or whatever, and then let Instagram get the feed. And then once
that a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, so that's what I think is happening, and I've pulled everybody off. The beginning of the show is really stupid.
Well,
I'm really sorry for everybody.
It's only our second episode, and we'll work the kinks out, trial and error. It's part of the journey.
It's part of the damn journey. Oh my God, how has your week been, girl?
It was pretty good. I'm feeling a little tuckered out today. We've had full-on summer, 95-degree weather here in the Northwest, and so I took advantage of it. Went to the gay beach yesterday, how we do, and so I'm just feeling a little tuckered. The sun, zapped all my energy out, or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
I figured tuckered is a code word.
Well, you've been to the beach with me before.
I know. I know very much Seattle's nude beach lands, and I love that Denny Blaine just won their case in the courts. I love that Howell Beach is still there. I love that culture in Seattle. I love that. It's good to see. It's been a crazy week. Speaking of heat, it's been hotter than the devil's ass crack down here. It's been way hotter than the 80s. We've been living in almost 40 degrees Celsius, which is a lot. It's just a lot. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it is what it is, but we're in the tropics. It's that time of year, and that's how it's gonna be.
And you have the beach in your backyard still, so it ain't that bad.
The water's hot, though. It's not refreshing. So I'm really excited to kind of jump into things today because we have our very first guest.
It'd be a good one.
I know. We decided we were going to wait and bring everybody in the future and everything like that. And I was like, what?
Why the hell not?
Why not just do it now? Why not just make it happen now? Because,
here we are.
We're already launching with technical difficulties. So, we might as well just dive into everything and do it however we want to do it. But for those of you who have been following, I do apologize for the technical difficulties. I promise one of these days it will run smoothly. But once we have these 2 episodes done, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting them on. I will put them on YouTube. And I will go ahead and start having the audio files streamable so people can catch up whenever they want to, so that we can start doing that. So right now, without further ado, because we don't need to really dive into too much without this person, I really want to check in with them first, and then we got so much to talk about today. So are you ready?
You're gonna
give me a little drum roll. Bring into the stage Coco Montrese.
Hi. What's going on? How are you guys?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I'm so far away from you right now, like 6 blocks.
I know, exactly. We actually just spent the entire day together because, we were at the tattoo parlor today. So some people we know were getting tattooed today. So
prezzies.
Yeah,
New ink is always a nice gift.
Yeah, it was a good day. So welcome, girl. What's new with you? What's going on? Welcome.
I am in the most fabulous place in the world. Let me tell you, I have enjoyed myself. taking this big leap. You've been with me through this whole journey. Like we've been talking about this for like what, a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, hey, you should actually come down here. And I'm here now, and let me tell you, I am loving it.
Paradise.
I'd rather have this heat than 134 degrees dry heat in Las Vegas. I'm sorry.
Baby, I'll tell you what, we complain about it, but it is lovely. It's good for the skin, everything.
Yes.
The storms roll in and it's exciting, and then it cools off. And, it's we call it the price of paradise down
Yeah.
here.
Right. Yeah,
So
we had
what,
a little short storm last night, and I took my window shades all the way up and just watched the rain. It was so
Oh, I
beautiful.
love it.
it was
Oh,
crazy. I had just finished cooking dinner. I made a couple hamburgers for me last night on the roof, and I was just finished grilling, and I walked downstairs and I went into the kitchen. I was putting the burgers together, chopping onions, chopping tomatoes, and all of a sudden I was like, wait, that's not a truck. It's raining. It's raining
mhm.
like cats and dogs outside. And it was just as soon as I went inside, it was just like boosh.
I
It
love
was
it when you can hear it. Like even like if the windows are closed and everything and it's raining so hard,
Yes,
that's the best.
it
it's
gets
beautiful.
and
It's
thunder,
beautiful.
and
Mhm.
it's nice. And then
We
I
you
love
have
went
all
to
that
the
put on my
for you.
shoes. I went to put on my shoes to walk to your house to get the crock pot.
yeah.
And once I put the shoe on, it was like
Nope.
downpour, and I was like, won't be coming to get that crock pot.
No.
Girl,
No.
what were you gonna crock in the pot?
Oh, some beef. I was gonna make some beef stew, which I'm making it
Mm.
right now. So
Girl,
Ooh.
don't let her lie to you. She's gonna make a beef stew appetizer. She's gonna make a topless beef stew. It is the tiniest crock pot in the world. My hand cannot even fit in this damn thing. And she brought it over to my house for pride and was like, "I'm gonna bring some beans and everything." She brought over enough beans for one thickums to have some beans with her food. And baby, did she eat the beans? She ate the damn beans. Everybody else was like, "I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on."
yeah,
She
they were all afraid to eat my cooking.
and she left the beans. She left the beans at my house, and then she was like, "Where's my crock pot?" I was like, "Sitting in my damn house where you left it."
Couldn't eat it. Take her home.
So
Yes, it's
I
a
watched
small
it.
crock pot, but I got a small stomach.
Oh,
So
shut up! Oh my god, you are okay.
you see what happens here.
Right.
We've been having a good time. It's been really nice having you in town. I'm
Thank
really glad that
you.
you're kind of settling in here. We've gotten connected in a way that we didn't really expect, which is actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
We and it's kind of nice how things are unfolding, the new chapters. I mean, I've got a new boyfriend. I've been with my boyfriend now for a year, and
Hmm.
things are progressing really, really well. I know you're hanging out and doing your thing, and
Yeah.
things are good, and life is good. I'm off to Guadalajara tomorrow to go do my final PET scan.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
yes, and good news for everybody who happens to be listening. This is just a formality. I actually got the all clear from my doctors a couple weeks ago when I took my PSA, and I have a PSA of 0.01, which is undetectable. We beat the cancer, and we're getting the formality out of the way of getting the actual clear PET scan. So I go tomorrow. I'll be back on Sunday, but yeah, we
Good job,
beat
girl.
cancer. We beat
Good
cancer,
job.
so
That's
I'm excited.
awesome.
So, is everybody ready to dive into all of our things today? We've
Ooh,
got
let's
so
dive.
much to talk, so much to talk
Yes.
about. So,
Yes, we do.
everybody get ready. Lau, all of our viewers, we spoke last week about how we're going to talk about the Supreme Court made it harder to protect kids, and a Supreme Court ruling that came out. And it also ties into something that's going on in Idaho. So right now, what we're going to talk about is the SCOTUS ruling 8-1 on conversion therapy. And now Idaho is just even going further. For those of you who don't know what's going on, is on March 31st, 2026, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 8-1 in Childs versus Salazar, siding with a Colorado Christian counselor who challenged the state's ban on conversion therapy talk practices for minors. Justice Neil Gorsuch, writing for the majority, said the First Amendment protects her speech during those conversion sessions. And what I just want to clarify, this did not overturn the ban on conversion therapy. What this did is this did not strike down Colorado's law outright. A physical aversion conversion, such as shock therapy or any of those things where they're physically trying to change your behaviors, those are still clearly banned. But the ruling means talk therapy, like a therapist actually talking to you about your identity and about how you're feeling, or conversion, trying to convert the queerness out of the person. The judges have ruled that the court doesn't have the place to be biased in their thing, because they are able to have speech where they're gender affirming speech and queer affirming speech, where they're talking about if the child is coming out LGBTQ, they go to the counselors and counselors would be affirming with them. And that right there is where we're coming into the problem. However, this is not just free speech. This counselor is talking about, oh, this is my free speech. What this did with the court system is it triggered it to go back to lower courts under high scrutiny. And what that means is they're going to go down to the letter of the law. And the big caveat in this is we are not talking about just straight up speech. We are talking about a therapist. We are talking about a licensed therapist that people are paying who has the medical care, and that is regulated highly. So that has been sent back to the courts to then kind of figure it out. And Colorado does have a chance. The Colorado ban does have a chance to continue as written if they get this case heard properly. So with that, there's, in addition to this, Idaho's kind of even done something even further, where they now have it is no longer a misdemeanor. It is on your first offense, it's a misdemeanor. On your second offense, it is a felony to use the incorrect bathroom for you compared to whatever you were assigned at birth. You must use whatever bathroom is coincides with whatever you were assigned at birth, unless, if there's no gender neutral option or whatever around. This has caused Idaho to be put on the no travel list by different people saying, they don't recommend going there. And actually currently there is a journalist, Erin Reed, who updated her transnational legal risk assessment map and banned people and actually said, don't travel to Idaho. So these two things are connected in a quite an interesting way, not directly, but indirectly. And it's all kind of an overarching movement. What do you guys think on all this? Like, let's go back to the SCOTUS ruling on conversion therapy, and then let's talk about this whole trans bathroom issue. Go ahead. Coco, do you want to jump in? James, do you want to jump in? Who wants to go first?
James, you can go first on this one.
All right. Well, the SCOTUS ruling is an interesting one. Because it really comes down to how the Colorado law was written, right? It's almost like ruling on a technicality, because the rule favors one viewpoint over another, something along those lines, and that's a tricky one, right? Because if you believe in freedom, then it goes both ways, right? I may not believe in what you believe, but I will fight for your right to believe it.
I agree.
So I'm wondering about this. I started wondering, like, well, how do they regulate, other medical practices? Like, how do they prevent a doctor or someone from saying, well, if you pray to God, then he'll take your schizophrenia away? Very similar to the whole conversion therapy concept. And I'm wondering, well, maybe they may not have laws that actually address that specifically. Maybe it's in the school curriculum, the building the technical knowledge, the working knowledge. Maybe it's in papers. Maybe it's in malpractice suits. I'd be really curious to know, like, how is medical practice regulated? What are all the different levels, different ways? Because it can't all be laws, right?
No, and that's the thing. We are highly regulatory for medical, and as a doctor can't just say, quote unquote, just say something. They can't. They have ramifications of what they say, because you take their word for gospel. You take it as the expert. They're the expert. And so I don't agree. I mean, I agree. I understand why the Supreme Court, it's super flippin' tricky, but I understand why the Supreme Court would send it back. Do I agree? No. But do I think that the conversion ban has an opportunity to stand as long as they clarify that this is because this is a medical provider? I think they have a little bit more, they will have more success with that.
Well, and there's plenty of research building up behind it, you know.
Well, there's very much information. There's a lot of information that shows that suicide rates and harm rates are much higher when you are not giving gender affirming care, or whether if it's I'm having a hard time saying not gender affirming care, but and I don't want to say lifestyle affirming because it's not lifestyle. This is who we are. You know, being a queer person is it's not a lifestyle. It's part of who we are. But that affirming care, that affirmation of that you are not wrong and that being a queer person is not a bad thing, that is important, and we need that. And when we don't have it, when we go into conversion therapy, when we start telling people, well, that's wrong and you shouldn't be doing that, suicide levels rise, depression levels rise, and drug abuse rises, you know, because they're trying to escape. And why the hell are we having this conversation?
Right.
Like, why are we talking about converting? Why the fuck are we doing that?
And then to add to that, for me, even when we say, oh, well, it's okay for them to be able to have a conversation with them versus shock therapy and all this other stuff. For me, I know as when I was a child, and I grew up in the Pentecostal church, and I will be honest with you, if I wasn't as strong as I was as a person, the verbal abuse, the verbal chastisement, the verbal trying to change you, was just as worse as anything they could have done to me physically. I will say this: at 50 something years old now, I still remember every single word that was said to me.
Girl.
That was said to me
That.
by those people in the church that was supposed to represent love and accepting and all of this. There were things said to me, even from that into my adulthood. You know, there were things that were said like, I came back to visit once, and it was, oh, you must have sold your soul to the devil because you look just the same as you did when you left. You look just as young as you did when you left. Now, why was that equated to me not being,
A good person?
I just don't understand that. And that when you say therapy, and people talk to people, that can be just as detrimental. So I feel like
Absolutely.
I feel like even with all of it, with all the, especially kids are easily influenced. I was not an easy influenced kid, and it still stuck with me. So imagine a kid I was very strong in who I was. When I figured it out, baby, I did not care who knew. Braids down to here and the fingernails, and it's time to go to church. Pastor son, time to go to church. That was me. But yeah, I can tell you as an adult, this many years later, I can still remember every single word that was said to me.
Baby, we can all remember. Those are traumatic moments. Those are core memories.
Yeah.
People talk about all these core memories all the time. Oh, this is such a beautiful core memory. Oh, this is beautiful. No, bitch, my core memories were, when I had a piano teacher tell me that I should burn if I have a piano at home, I should burn it and never touch a piano again. I will never forget that. I will never forget that. And it scared me from ever wanting to actually learn piano and got me afraid from any of doing that. And having people, some of the hateful things people said to me about being queer, and baby, we've all heard it. We've all been through it. And it's not okay. And I don't like the fact that we even are having to have this conversation of what the fuck. We are not converting straight children.
Right.
No.
We're not having conversion therapy for straight children being like, well, or we're not having conversion therapy to stop these boys from going out and graping, young women and doing all. I had to change the word because the platforms will mess it up. But why aren't we having conversion therapies for that? Like, why are we talking about conversion therapy for queer children? But we're not talking about these violent offenders, these people who are violating other human beings' bodies and rights and scarring them for life. And these good old boys are just being able to do whatever the hell they want, and it's just gym talk, or it's locker room talk, or it's whatever. And it's like, but yet we are out here actually destroying lives of queer people under the guise of fucking therapy.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and let's take it to another level in a quick minute, and ask, who are the people who are making these decisions, writing these laws, passing these laws? Some of them are closeted queer people who can't come to terms with their own internal homophobia.
Lindsey Graham allegedly. Lindsey Graham
may he rest in whatever he deserved.
Right.
Ladybug. And that's the thing. Even Hunter Biden has actually been on some things recently, talking about how there is a conglomeration of queer men,
Republicans. Yep.
Queer Republican men that everybody on the Hill knows that they are homosexuals. But their own self-hatred, their own self-loathing is causing them to write all of these things and go forth. And I'm just like, the hypocrisy of all of this.
What a coincidence that Grindr goes down offline every time there's a Republican convention.
Girl.
1+1. Now,
there.
I like this segue though, because my take on the whole bathroom, the whole bathroom issue, straight men are just thinking that gay men will treat them the way they treat straight women.
Oh, good. Right? That is exactly what it is.
They cannot think that a man will be around women, whatever situation.
What's crazy though? What's crazy?
Yeah.
But what's crazy is, like, I just saw a video the other day of a trans woman who was in a bathroom, and she was in a place where she had to use the bathroom that aligned with what she was assigned at birth. So she was in the men's room, and she was there doing her hair and doing her thing, but she was filming herself. And this dude walks in, and he's like, "Whoa, wait, what's going on? Am I in the wrong place?" Nope, you're in the right place. I'm just doing my hair, and I'm doing my hair and heading out. And what the fuck? I don't want that in here. What the hell are you? You're not supposed to. And literally the trans woman was like, wait, you said I have to be here. You're the one who said it. And this is what they are so obsessed with what people are doing in the bathroom because they're the ones doing the nasty shit in the damn bathrooms.
How many times have they been caught? How many times have they been caught doing? Never do
I give a shit what's going on in the fucking stall next to me or what's happening in the urinal next to me.
In and out.
Girl, I do not care. I have been in there with other families where, I've seen a single mom come into the boys' room with her son because she didn't want her son in the ladies' room, which parents' choice, but she brought him into the boys' room. I didn't care. Go do your thing.
I could care less. I'm there to relieve myself. I'm trying to get in and get out.
Baby, if I need to go pee on the side of the road while I'm driving, I'm going to whip that shit out on the side of the road behind a bush. I'm going to move on. I don't care if you're passing and you see me going pee. It's the same thing, baby. I'm in a bathroom. I'm going pee. I'm making a mess. Leave me alone.
Yep.
Yeah. It's wild.
That
whole thing is wild.
It all comes down.
And the people who are constantly saying, well, they're going to be sexualized. Every accusation is a goddamn admission.
Ooh, girl.
It is.
Ooh, girl.
It is.
Why are you thinking of sex when you in the bathroom, baby? I gotta pee or I gotta shit.
I'm thinking about, yes, that's all I'm thinking about. Go. I gotta go.
I'm like, I hope it doesn't smell in here.
Girl, that part, do you know how much anxiety I have? Because I do not do number 2 outside of my house. And if I have to, like if I'm traveling, 9 times out of 10 when I'm traveling, there's a moment, especially because I've been up at dark 30 and then I'm like on a connection. And there's a moment when you're back on the earth out of that pressurized plane and your bowels are like, now, bitch. And you're like, no. And so then I find myself
and that's the last place.
Right?
But then I that's the last place you want to be with a bunch of people. You don't want to be with a bunch of people that long in the.
No.
Let's go.
I go into, I try to find the family bathroom or the general neutral bathroom or wherever it is because then I'll be like, give me the privacy. I don't want anybody to hear this. I don't want anybody to be a part of this. I don't want to smell it. But that's the thing is like when I'm in there, I'm doing we all have. It's almost like we all have collective shame when we're in there. Like I don't see you. You don't see me. We're doing our thing. But then why do we have these people who are all like, but what's going on in there? It's like because you the nasty bastard who is peeking. You're the one peeking. You're the one, your loins are twitching, but you don't know how to deal with it. You're freaking pervert.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so fucking tired of this argument and this band. This makes me angry because I graduated high school in Nampa, Idaho. So like Idaho has good people in it, but this legislative shit, oh my God, it makes me not want to ever go back there because I'm just like, oh hell no. And I'll tell you, girl, like I'll get my ass arrested. Somebody calls out a trans person in a bathroom in Idaho and let me be there, baby. Let me be there. I'll pee all over the motherfucker. I'll just be like, you know what? Would you rather this person go where they're comfortable or me chase you around and piss on you? Because that's about how I'm going to deal with it.
Yeah. Now, I do feel that we should at least mention, that throughout history, certainly throughout our capitalist country, there's always a target group, right? There's always a scapegoat that those in power try to use to distract from everything else. It's been people of every color, at one point or another. It's been gay men, and now that there's so many gay men Republicans, then now the focus is shifting to trans, right?
Yeah. Trans is the problem
in the spotlight.
And I'm so tired of villainizing the most marginalized of the marginalized.
It's one of the cheapest shots. It's the lowest of the low to try to even.
Trans people are not a threat, never have been, never will be. Trans people have always been here, always will be here. Trans people are welcome here. Trans people are part of the beautiful fabric that makes up the human species. We are not different races. We are different shades and colors and beautiful backgrounds and histories and different types of expression, but we are all the same. We're all humans and we need to get back to that. And I'm so fucking tired of the divisiveness and then this and that and this rise of fascism and everything. It's all this shit. But the good news about the Idaho law is it's got injunctions and there's other things going on. And like right now, because it's so vaguely written that it's just meant to entrap people and they're trying to make adjustments to where it's like, if there is no other bathroom option available, they need to make it available. Because if they're going to ban people from doing certain things, then you have to give them options to be able to go to the bathroom. Or I'm going to say
people just start shit in the streets.
That's the thing. I was like, or we all just start peeing on everything. Exactly.
Just start peeing on the wall, like.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, we got through a good chunk of that.
Yeah, we
got through a good. Do you guys have it? That is heavy, but I do think that it's good to talk about, but I don't think it's horribly heavy. I mean, we got some other things that unfortunately, I'm going to take you guys through the ringer today. We've got a little bit, but we're going to go into, we're going to move out of the hot topics and go into kind of cheese-may hot topics, kind of a hyper blend, cheese-may drama, the gossip, whatever. And I'm going to start it off hot because we do have a RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star, and we have a RuPaul's Drag Race star from season season 5. That's right. That's right.
Too.
Oh, that's right. Las Vegas residency and everything.
So we call season 5 and All Stars 2 the seasons of the professionals.
Oof. Right.
Oh, listen to y'all.
Because back in the day, that's who you were getting to do the show.
That is very true.
Everybody was established already for the most part.
Those of us who were either auditioning or who were on the show were pretty
established.
Yeah, and that's really the only ones they were looking at were those of us who were established. So back onto that established realm, let's go ahead and talk about the very first topic in our cheese maze. Congratulations, Crystal Method.
Congratulations to her. Yes.
Wins All Stars 11. However, I hear there's some drama going on in the fucking ether. Coco, would you have any insight on any of this? What's going on, girl?
Okay.
What is the drama? What's going on?
Now, what I can do is you can tell me what you heard, and then I can tell you my opinion on what you heard. Because, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't watch the show. I never watched the show in a long time, so I'm like seeing snippets and bits of it.
Well, you and I are very much the same. Like, because the old school version, the old episodes back up to season like 6 or 7, it was kind of the style we could get with. But after that, they really changed the format, and it's not really something that speaks to me as much. Like, I'll watch an All Stars if I see y'all on there, if somebody I know is on, but I'm not really, but I do see that like people were pushing back. People were pushing back on different things. People are like, there's some drama around it. Maybe the lip sync wasn't as maybe there's been some interesting things about a Lollapalooza lip sync and the gauntlet and the whole top
Oh.
six
Oh, I might need to
and
go watch the season. But my thing with the show now is it's kind of, for me, the authenticity of the show is a little bit different. I'm not gonna say it's lost it. And definitely, I mean, I'm not one to bash the show because the show gave me an opportunity and I love it. But
oh God,
however,
no, we're not gonna
I'm
bash
still
it. We'll
I'm
be
still one of
real.
those people. I'm still one of those people though that I will I will call it out. I don't care that I was on the show and all that, but I will call it out if I don't think it's right. And my
Sure.
thing with the show now is I just feel like it's losing its authenticity because back in the day, we were not, everybody's very conscious now of what they say, what they do, how they
Mhm.
operate, everything. And I do understand that the times have changed. However, the reason the audience and the viewership is saying, oh gosh, I wish we could bring back the old days, is because in the old days, we were not controlled. We were not calculated. We were really there. We were inside those emotions at the moment for real, and we said how we felt. What's
Well, and there
happening now
wasn't.
is, go ahead.
Sorry, but there wasn't really a formula. It was still pretty new, and it was still pre figuring it out. There was only,
Well,
I mean, at that point, by the time you were on, there was under 100 girls at that point.
exactly
But while you were on, there was maybe 60 girls at that point,
at
and
that point.
so and it's like so now there's how many?
Oh gosh, who knows? Girl, I'll be
Across all
somewhere
the
and they'll be
different.
like, "Oh my God, Coco, you're such an inspiration." I'm like, "Baby, who are you again?" And they will be like, "Oh, I was on season 13 or season," and I'm like, "I
Sorry,
don't
girl.
know," so, and I don't mean it to be.
No, but
Yeah.
we are older. I mean, you and I, you and I are right around that lovely mid-century mark,
Mhm.
and and we come from a different world. We come from a different type of drag. I'm not saying that all drag is not valid. I do think that
No, I think it all is
most.
valid. I just think that we grew up in a time where you had to, like, for example, when we got ready to go to Drag Race, we got the call. We were told we were going to Drag Race. It was go to your closet with this
Yeah,
list
I
and
Mhm.
remember.
find something to fit that look. There was
Here's
no
the
such thing
list.
as
Yeah.
designers and money and
Well, and
designers and more money and no, we had
whatever
none
happened.
of that.
Whatever happened to the fucking $4 million gag order? Like when you're on this stuff, there was no talking about nothing. If they heard anything about it, you couldn't talk to your mama about nothing. Like it was like
Nothing.
no, you lied. I mean, girl, like I mean, I remember being in the QFC on Broadway and Jinx and Kenny come walking around the corner, and that was the time that I had moved on into the auditions. I had been further, and they were talking, and I don't know who else they were talking to, but I knew they were talking to Jarek, Hera, and myself at the time, um, and I had seen Jinx. We'd known each other, we'd seen each other around all the time. We worked together, we were friends, and at one point I looked at her and I said, we ran into each other in the freezer section at the QFC on Broadway, and I was like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, hi. Like I could see that she was just like, shit. And I was like, so are they still talking to you? Because they sure has gone real quiet with me. And she goes, yeah, and I was like, you bitch. I was like, just look, I was like, you bitch. She is on the show. And I knew it. I knew at that point she was on the show, but I didn't dare say anything because it would have gone around and it could have messed with her things. But now it's like all these people are coming with these packages, these 25, 50, $60,000 packages.
Well, and where are they getting all the money for that?
They're getting sponsorship. They're getting all kinds. Some of the girls are also getting into debt like crazy. Some of the girls are crazy and got
It's
loans.
wild. It's very wild, and it's easy to happen if you haven't been in the business in a long time, or
Mhm.
you're just brand new to the business, or you started drag to get on Drag Race.
Imagine all
You
these girls going to these
you fall
designers
for
that are
anything.
girl
Yeah,
that these hungry designers that are like, oh, Oh, you got to go on Drag Race. Oh, I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna. Oh, this outfit's gonna cost you $6,000.
Yeah.
Oh, but girl, you're gonna be on TV. That's what it costs now. Oh, okay. Blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. No, girl. No, girl. No, 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 no. No, ma'am. Unless you're
It's,
doing stuff like Raja did when she became queen of She Already Done Had Hers, and have laser
Mhm.
beams coming out of everywhere, and have iron made like molded iron boots that are in a
Mhm.
cage. Like, girl, unless you're doing shit like that, like, no, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I
I
don't. I
love that
don't.
the girls have resources now. I love that they have resources and things like that. But you know what? I love the fact that at the end of the day, I can be self-sufficient, and if I need to do anything at the moment, I can pull it off. You
But
know,
that
Yeah.
comes
because
down to talent and
Well,
experience.
and
yeah, we were trained that way, you
let
know.
me ask you. Let me ask you both this. Whether it's whether we're talking drag race or just drag in your local bar, in your hometown. Do you feel like if there's if people have to rely more on their personal resources, their personal skills, in putting a look together, going thrift shopping and putting a look together or making something, do you feel like that breeds more creativity and variety?
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also we've shied away from a lot of times early in the earlier seasons after five, you were always approached for advice and things like that.
Mm,
When I, for example, like when I got ready to come to Puerto Vallarta, the first thing I did was seek out you get advice from the people who are already here, who are doing what you're doing or what you want to do, and you go from there. Um, what you see now, though, with the younger generation coming up is I know what I'm doing.
hmm
I got it. And then when it all falls apart, then they come to you and go, hey, can you help me figure out how to get booked and things like
Well,
that? And I'm like,
I think it's interesting. It's interesting because you and I talk about this a lot, and
mhm.
it is really interesting. There's a new mentality of that it's all handed to them,
hmm
and a lot of these, and that's one of the things. One of the reasons why I'm not very into Drag Race these days is because it's all a whole bunch of Instagram pretty.
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
care that you're a gorgeous model. Okay, great,
Very
cool,
cookie cutter.
Mhm.
but what are you? Who are you? What is your character? Who do you stand for? What makes you tick? Why do people come to see you?
hmm
Mhm.
And then what's interesting also doing what I do, being a cabaret artist and being a solo artist who has not been on television and who's kind of built my own career on my own and who's kind of, followed along behind my friends who are, my celebrity friends who've made it onto television and done everything, kind of watched and learned. But I've also had to build my business on the back end. I've had to be an entrepreneur. I've had to
Yeah.
pay my own taxes and find out how to do, graphic designers and marketing people and street marketing and all of this stuff and get and rehearsals and organizing and blah blah
Girl,
blah.
you installed your own AV. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I did.
Come on,
Mhm.
MacGyver.
I did today. All this audio, video, everything here today is all
Yeah.
done. But and
Mhm.
that's the thing is like and I think it's because we're more the old school. I think I like to think of old school drag as like vaudeville. We're the old vaudeville
Sure.
gals. Whereas
Yeah.
some of us, we get looked at
Mhm.
like, oh, they're old school. But it's like, bitch, we're the ones who know. We're the old workhorses. We know how to
Mhm.
get an audience. Go to a market that we don't know. For example, we can go to Provincetown and we can walk on the damn
Yes.
streets. We can bark on the damn streets and get a bunch of people who
Yeah.
may not know us from our
To buy
stature, but
tickets.
that
Mhm.
will come and still be like, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to come see what you're going to do, and then be able to
Right.
hold that audience for that next 55 to 75 minutes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's interesting watching these girls come in. They get pumped out of Drag Race. They come down here to Puerto Vallarta and they go, oh, and then they come
And
and
they
they
go, oh,
fall in.
I can do that. Oh, I can do this. I can do that. And then they don't understand the stamina you have to have and how you have
Yep.
to build it and how it has to be. And it has to last. It has to last for
Well,
70 or 90
There
minutes.
you go.
They
and
don't
it's
understand.
and if you want to do a residency, you got to be able to do that show 75 times. And it
hmm
Yeah.
still be new every time, and you got to do it and sell it for everybody, and you got to get out there, and yes, this last season I wasn't doing as much as I used to do, but damn it, I was dealing with deadly cancer. But now when I go back, I'm gonna hit the beach again. I'm gonna do all the things that I used to do. I'm gonna get back out there, remind everybody that I'm still at it, and then I'm gonna sell out again and do all the things that we used to do. It's all gonna roll back the way it was because I know how to work this machine. I know what I need to do. I know how to put my nose to the grindstone. I know how to get the job done. And that's the thing that I think is a disservice to a lot of the new queens now is everything is so easy, everything's so cookie cutter, everything's so pretty, but there is no actual business behind it.
Right. And my thing with it is too, at the same time, I do welcome, because if we're not growing, then we're dead. I do
Yeah.
welcome the new technology and the new ways that have it. When I started drag, there was no such thing as a tutorial on YouTube
Mm-hmm,
or
mm-hmm.
a thing where you could learn how to do the makeup or you could do the we didn't have all that. Everything was trial and error.
Yeah.
And for the people of color, it was trial and error to the point where we had to become chemists too. You had to
Right.
Oh,
mix this
yeah.
powder with that powder to become this powder, and then sometimes it didn't work out right, and you looked like you was going to the funeral home. But then it
Other
just
times
it
you just
was,
grab a Dorito
or
bag
you
and you
look
flap the.
orange, or
Yeah.
it happened back then.
We
But
didn't know,
now
but we didn't know. We did not know
now
back
you
then.
can formulate it.
The
Now they
closest
have
thing.
machines. You can go in and they'll look at your skin, take a picture, and we can mix this powder with that powder, and now you have your own powder. You know what I mean? It's
What?
a totally different time. We're in a
Baby.
totally different time.
Remember back in the day, the only way that you could get a makeup idea when you ever figure out anything was to go to the goddamn makeup counter and beg for those girls to put on your fucking makeup and then try and learn it that way.
The Mac counter.
Yes.
That's how we
Yes.
used to do. That's how we used to do it. There was no
Hmm.
internet. There was no drag section in the Encyclopedia Britannica. There was none of that shit. There was when wig stock came out in the 90s, it was like, oh my God. And then when Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, came out, and that drag, what's really funny is if anybody knows that film, if you look at that film and you look at Guy Pearce.
Yes, Guy
Mhm.
Pearce.
It's Guy Pearce's. I always want to say Guy Ritchie, but Guy Pearce. If you look at Guy Pearce's makeup, in that's where I got a lot of my inspiration in the beginning of where all my makeup came.
Sure.
That, and of course, and she knows this, Jackie Beat. Like that's really kind of where. That was the only places I could learn it. Like, and Jackie Beat, I figured out later on through flyers and everything in New York City. I didn't know who she was.
Let me ask you guys this. When Matthew Anderson first made up RuPaul in her supermodel look back in the 90s, was that the first time, a drag queen had kind of been that femme, versus like, I'm trying to think of the drag queens that we would have known around. But
well, the only other drag queen that would have been mainstream was Divine right before that,
right.
And then
Right.
RuPaul was the very first glam model, very very first supermodel of the world. Like that look that Matthew gave her. Yeah, and let's not get it twisted. That was not Ru. That was Matthew.
Matthew's amazing.
That was Matthew's vision. That was Matthew's artistry. That was Matthew's photography, his wigs, everything.
He was incredible. He was incredible. He worked on our season too. I think my season was like one of the last seasons he worked on.
Nice.
And being able to talk to him and get some advice and a lot of things. And he pulled me to the side and we even talked and he said, it's a mind game. He says, you're very talented. It's a mind game. He said, Coco, there's just a few little different things I would do with your makeup, but your makeup is not bad. It's not. He said, they're trying to get into your head.
But when Matthew comes and says, do this, do that.
He said, do this and change that. And he said, don't buy it. Don't listen. He says they're making it worse than it really is. Don't pay attention to that. And to have that from him was like, whoa, okay.
Like
when I've heard from a lot of you guys that back on his seasons, he would have a few girls that he would just find that he would connect with, and he would take you guys under his wing, and he'd give you advice and teach you a little bit of makeup. But he was an amazing. I got to meet him. I met him in Los Angeles at Sharon's premiere, and that was the year he wore the gray and the nude illusion, like the baby doll dress. It was beautiful. Yeah. He looked amazing. We just sat and chatted for hours that night.
Wonderful man.
Wonderful human being. And
you could tell.
Girl, just the way that man commands with his energy, his calm, centered, That man to me is one of the
He was a
gods.
Picasso. He was a Picasso to human bodies. That's what he
Yep.
was. He
Yep.
He's
would paint a beautiful picture from head to toe, and it was
yeah.
just it was incredible to see. It was incredible to see.
I'm just so sad that he's no longer able to do what his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just sad.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Oh,
and it,
but really quick before we get off of that, I wanted to say though, also with the new girls, with the new girls, I, as far as makeup and stuff, I've been learning a lot from them,
Oh,
and
cool.
they're shocked that you. I'm like, you guys, we didn't have
girl,
access to what you have
you
access
saw
to.
me. I just
So
learned a new technique just the other day. I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna try something new. For those of you who don't know, like I do a little white patch where I do my eye. I design my eye. It's out of a clown white makeup, and it's based out of being a sister. And I used to set that with a powder, and then I would go and do my foundations and my contours, and I'd set all that with a powder. And then I go back in with my pressed powders, and I draw my eyes on. Girl, that worked for years. But then this last week, I literally was like, let me try something, because I've seen some people do it, and it's on these YouTube things, everything. I've noticed a lot of people go in wet, where the foundation is not set, and they set it with the pressed powders, and I did also my eyes only, and then did everything else after that. And Coco and I were talking the whole time, and I was just like, girl, this is so foreign and so weird. But she's like, once you do it once, it'll click, and you'll be like, wait a minute. And
yep.
it did. And then it took me a couple attempts. I washed out my eyes a couple times and kept doing it till I kind of like, oh, I know how this works now. And now it's like, holy shit, it just unlocked the whole thing. And that's the beauty of this art, is we can always keep learning.
What's the advantage of doing
Yep.
it that way versus your previous way?
It's less work. The colored the color powders,
Say that again.
the pigmented powders it's less work. This new technique with the wet foundation, the pigmented powders, they grip really well. Everything moves, but you have to be more. You have to know what you're doing with it, because you can get muddy and overdo it very quickly. But I think that's a good way to close on that one. I'm looking at our time. We've gone 46 minutes in this, and I was going to go over a couple things. We were going to talk about one person, and to be honest, I don't care about a turf. I really don't care about a turf. We're not going to talk about her. I did hear. Let's see here. We're not going to talk about the turf, so we'll move on from that. Let's go. Wait, where is it? There it is. Here it is. Chris Olsen just split from Harrison Doherty amid cheating allegation. But I have to say, so Chris Olsen has been on TikTok for a long time. He had another partner. They were two partners on it. They broke up over TikTok.
These are two boys.
Two boys, and then Chris Olsen he was real good friends with what's her name? I know I need to move in. Megan Trainor. He's really good. He's really good. Mm-hmm. He's really good friends with Megan Trainor. And then he ended up falling in love with this guy, Harrison Doherty. It was this whole fantasy thing. He was English. It felt very royal. It was going to be gorgeous. And now Harrison was cheating on him. And Chris found out, and he took it straight to the internet and did exactly. Well, and also Harrison was also using his clout and using Chris Olsen has millions of followers and makes a full living. That man will go around just be like, oh, I have a wild hair. I'm going to go to China today. And like, boom, you follow, and his boyfriend was picking up and getting popular and everything. And then Chris would literally took it all and was just like, no. And that's the thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, girl. I don't have anything wrong with polyamory. I don't have anything wrong with open relationships. I don't have anything wrong with that.
Do it right.
Don't lie to your partner. Don't cheat behind your partner's back. If they don't allow that, and you want to go do that, maybe you need to have a bigger conversation. But what, Chris Olsen, way to take it to the airwaves. I'm sorry. She kind of annoyed me in the first breakup, to be honest. I didn't really like Chris Olsen. I liked his boyfriend in the past. I like his first boyfriend. However, she has grown on me over the years, and nobody deserves.
Is he giving us? Is he like the male J-Lo in this? And I love J-Lo. I love J-Lo though. J-Lo is. I don't think she can do no wrong.
I don't know her.
Right. Oh my goodness. Now, did you hear? So I also want to talk about. So let's move on to another Cheese-May topic. Let's bring that up. Hold on, my things just went a little crazy. Oh, who cares about that? So this one's going to be a little touchy. I don't have a Chiron for it. I because it was kind of a last minute addition. But this one's going in the cheese man. We want to talk about it because this is a huge hot topic going on right now, and this may end up eating up a lot of our last of our time. Argentina lost the World Cup.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
I watched it. So, to be honest, to be transparent, I've never been into sports ball. Blah. I don't care. And I've never followed American football in my life. I was a varsity cheerleader in high school. I still don't understand what a fucking first down is, second down, or this and that. All I know is they touch each other's ass a lot.
Right.
And they like to lay on the ground together in a big pile. I don't know, but they
not a problem.
Right. I'm
right.
like, I'm
More
like
of that, please.
I was like, okay, I get that, but I don't understand what's happening. But I'm dating a beautiful Colombian man, and he loves soccer, and he introduced me to football, and I was like, okay. And the first game I watched, I was like, oh wait, I understand this. Oh wait. And then I started watching, and so then we were following Colombia in this, and unfortunately, Colombia didn't go as far as they should have gone. And then we were rooting for Mexico, and unfortunately, Mexico didn't go as far as they should have gone. And in the end, it was Spain versus Argentina, and Spain won. And I was very, very happy to see that Spain won. Spain played an amazing game and ran that field the entire time. Ran that field. It was pretty amazing, and there was something, but. What shook me was what happened after.
Okay.
And the reactions.
Did you watch Coco? Do you know anything about this?
Yeah,
I know enough about it too. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been interesting. It brought up some things, and there was some very bad behavior by Argentina's players and a lot of their fans as well. There's been a lot of bad behavior going on throughout the World Cup. Argentina has also been known for being very aggressive. They've been doing a lot of hands-on things and there were no fouls, and so there's that. We'll just leave the FIFA corruption to its own thing, but it opened up this can of worms because there was this drama going on with the fans from Argentina, and some racist chants, some homophobic chants, some racist gestures, some comments that have been made. A lot of fans have made things, and then at the end. There was some real aggressive behavior by players, very unsportsmanlike things. And it got me into thinking. And then there was this huge narrative going on, and everybody's been talking about it and everything. And there's been a lot of dumping on things. And I, first of all, want to go, before we go into any of this any further, one, we are not here to dump on Argentina. We are not here to dump on a country or a people whatsoever.
Right.
Two, I want people to also recognize that, yes, this may be in the newswire right now that's going on with Argentina, but this is not unique. This type of culture that is happening is not unique to Argentina. If you want to talk, look at the United States. The United States has got a really horrible history with racism. Really, really hard time dealing with racism and actually getting to the root of it and getting rid of racism. We'd rather just not talk about it and say it doesn't exist while being completely racist and rip families apart. You look at what's going on, what had happened up in Canada with the state schools and the indigenous population. So this is not a unique item to one country or another. Circumstances are different. Because I'm not conflating the two. Each country has their own history, their own back. And it got interesting. It got very interesting when you look back at the history of Argentina and how, after they were colonized, the wealthy elite got together and decided this is the type of country we want to build. And they decided to go more European and have kind of built this narrative that Argentina is more European. They are not Latin American. And they, for a long time in the past, they had actually really worked on kind of lightening the skins. There was no banning of anybody. There was no segregation, but there was active disappearance and active just cleansing of indigenous people and focusing on European immigration by these elites. And then it, over generations, it has created this interesting, we all know there's some other people that immigrated to Argentina, and that's why this is such an interesting conversation, because it's very delicate, and I don't want to say that this is not to villainize a group of people or a community or anything like that. This is historical. This is facts. These are things that happened. What is this saying about us as humans?
The
that
world,
we that we
the world,
continue to
the world. hmm The world needs
that,
an enema. Period. The whole world needs an enema.
but how do we get through? I mean, because right now everybody's dumping on Argentina, and grantedly, the people that are in the news cycle and the ones that are in front of the cameras are not doing a good job representing their people right now. And I know this is more than just one or two people, but how do we take this as a moment to step off and really use this to try to help all of us kind of move forward?
Let's connect it back to what we were talking about earlier, right? We were talking about the secret cabal of homophobic gay men in the American Republican Party that can't come to terms with their own internal struggles, feelings, whatever. And it goes back to, a lack of capacity, a lack of learning, teaching, but also a lack of effort in self-reflection, self-betterment, right? Like understanding that none of us are even close to perfect. How can I improve myself? How can I learn from others? How can I expose myself to new things? Like constantly learning. If we as individuals can't do that, then we as communities and societies can't do it either, right?
Right. And I think
go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, until we learn to do that, we can't reckon with our history, with our past, and come to terms with big issues like racism, poverty, all of it.
Correct.
I
think that what's happening in the entire world right now is all the countries, each country is holding up a mirror to the other country.
Yeah.
And I love that you said, no, we're not here to bash Argentina. We're not even in a position to bash Argentina. There's so much crap all over from everywhere. And it goes back to something like you said earlier. It goes back to the elite. Yeah. It's the elite everywhere. It's the people in power. We need we need all our world leaders to be completely, we just need to start over and understand that you can't function without this place. No matter how far away they are from you, they provide a resource to you for you to be able to live. You can think their resources is doesn't really contribute much, but go without it. Just go without that one little resource. It's like a machine. That one bolt that whole machine can fall apart. Those bigger parts of the machine think that they're better than everybody else and they're holding together. That one little bolt gone, the entire thing collapses.
Whole thing falls apart. Yeah.
And I think the world is holding up a mirror to each country so they can see themselves until somebody decides, okay, this is too much.
That's the thing is, I think we all need to. I think the United States needs to really take our own history and look at it, and we really need it. That's why critical race theory needs to be taught. That's why we need to go through and all the shit that's happening right now with the Orange Ones regime and all of this shit where they're basically dumbing down and changing curriculums. This is what it leads to, is then a complete culture of this white supremacy, this Christian nationalist movement in the United States. Canada's done a great thing where they've actually recognized what they did. They came out and they said it, and they actually going back and trying to make amends and do the right things. I don't have enough of the information to kind of go into, but I do see that they're trying to do something. I see that they realize that their history was not pretty, and they're ashamed of it, but they're not going to hide from it. And that is something I think that is really important. And I think, there are people right now in Argentina who are really working to try to change the narrative and change that culture that is that white supremacy, that is that Eurocentric supremacy, that just doesn't serve anybody. Nobody is better than anybody else. We are all human beings. We are all going to die in the end. We're all just trying to figure this out. And it's just really, it is really hard to watch. It's now granted, back to FIFA, do I think the Argentinian team should be fined and maybe banned from doing as violent as they did, especially after the game, because there were actual punches thrown and attack and everything? Yes, I do think that they should be banned. banned from the next World Cup just because of the unsportsmanlike thing? Do I think that everybody should continue to bash on a country because they don't know the nuances of this history, and they're villainizing a country when they need to actually look in their own house and they need to look in their own shit and rectify their own history first before they can throw a judgment at anybody else? But it is good that we are talking about it. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about these things openly, and we need to remind each other that we can get through this. It's going to be hard, but we can get through it. So that leads me into something really, really good for Mama's Milk, because we're going to have to kind of wrap it up. We're going to go a little long today. If everybody wants to listen, we're going to go about 15 minutes over. But I want to make sure that we get everything out. We got on some good topics today. But one of the things is, how do you stay soft when the world wants you hard? Now, I can easily say, go have prostate surgery and you'll stay soft forever. But only about a year. But you can have injections. It'll be fine. But no, the how do you stay soft when the world wants you hard? That's an interesting one. And it goes back into, this is something I really want all of my sweet titillations to listen to. And everybody out there, the world is going to continue to move. It's all going to move forward. Things are going to happen. Bad people are going to do bad shit. Stupid people are going to do stupid shit. Good people are going to do good shit. Great people are going to do great shit. And the world is going to keep spinning. And the day is going to keep passing. So stop trying to keep up with everything else. And especially when the world feels too much, that's when it's time to unplug and take time for you. Go on a walk. Go smoke a joint if you are of legal age. If you
spend time in another country,
go to another go if you can afford it, get on a vacation and go to another country. Go walk. Sometimes I will
and it
go.
doesn't have to be a vacation. Just take a long time.
Yeah. And I've even had things where I'll be like, I'll go to leave my house, and then I have an opportunity. I have a couple routes, and one route I'll be like, you know what, I am going to walk on the ocean side today because I want to take 3 minutes and just tune out everybody and walk down and realize how lucky I am that I get to walk
the gratitude
with the ocean and watch the sun and the birds. And then those moments are what can help keep you soft in this crazy, crazy world. And I challenge everybody, because this world is trying to make you so hard and negative, and there's so much coming at you. The most radical thing you can do is take care of yourself and not come back hardened and just angry and doing everything that they want you to do, because that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to bait us all into that, and we don't want that.
It's so funny you say that. I was thinking, well, what would be the simplest thing a person could do every day to combat everything that's going on in the world and how we feel? And it's so funny. I find myself doing the simplest gesture, and then I realize, oh my God, that's it. That's what everybody needs to do. You know what I do?
What do you do?
I'm walking down the street. If I see someone walking towards me, and they just have a blank face, and I have a blank face, I smile, and they smile back.
Nice.
It changes. It's a moment that we just change one thing, but for them, it's much telling of a lot more that's going on. It's
When you never know
giving
what
us
anybody's
hope
going through. You
that
never know what
people
anybody's going through.
that everybody's not. You know what I mean? That everybody's not crazy right now. There are some people who you just give a smile, and you're gonna get a smile back. And when you get that smile back, it's going to tell you something too. Everybody in the world is not on this crazy crap that's going on in these places,
No. And I'll tell you, one of the
Everybody's
things
not
about
condoning it.
Well, like living here in Mexico, we all say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. We say whatever. It's like we always walk by everybody. It's good afternoon. It's buenas tardes, buenos dias. You don't know anybody, or you see somebody eating, you're grabbing food, and you're walking by. Buen provecho. It's one of those things where it's like we all just kind of take that time, and those are the little things that matter. It's because you pass that positive energy out there into the world, and it's a good thing. And speaking of positive energy, we're going to move into the good news only, because we got to kind of close out this episode. We've had an amazing conversation. Coco, I just want to know, before we do any of that, will you come back and be on another episode?
Yes,
absolutely.
Please.
Absolutely.
Well, and I promise on the next one we'll get even naughtier. We'll talk about some naughty stuff.
I'll be Anna Navarro. I'll be like Anna Navarro on the View. I'll come back whenever you guys want me to come back.
Nice.
So not that one. Let's see here. Nope. There we go. This is really cool. A Phoenix leather bar beat a billionaire's objection and they won a liquor license. Have you heard about this?
Hey.
So in Phoenix, Arizona, there's a bar called the Barracks. They just bought their property. They were applying for their liquor license, and then next door, somebody bought a property right after them. And this person happened to be an heir to the U-Haul fortune, and they've got like a car collection next door, and they've got their stuff and blah, blah, blah. But they came in, they bought their building after, but of course they're not waiting on a liquor license and everything. And so they're probably able to get everything up and running, and immediately started complaining when they realized what was going on next door. And they're like, oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this. And started complaining and complaining and complaining, literally to the point where they had an 8-hour hearing at the Liquor Control Board, trying to deny them from getting their liquor license, because this U-Haul heir makes me never want to get a U-Haul ever again.
Right.
This U-Haul heir is like complaining, but the good news, the entire community came out and supported. And it was a 5-1-1 vote after that 8-hour hearing. And it was all cited because of community support from that neighborhood association, local business owners, and the community all came out to be like, fuck off, Mr. Billionaire. Nice. This is our community. That's the type of shit I want to see more of.
Yes.
I want to see more of the community taking a step on taking a step for the community. Yes. You know, there's been so much negativity out there in the world that I really do think that it's time for us to do some of these things positively moving forward, but we also need to take a stand because the world's just going to keep getting uglier. So might as well get in there and get in the mess and try to make it better.
Absolutely. Yep. And as soon as we can stop looking at each other and seeing all of our differences, right? And falling for those tricks and seeing what we actually have in common and how we can help each other to reach where we're all trying to get.
Mm-hmm. That is the key, because if they can keep us distracted and keep us at each other's throat, and you're not like me and I'm not like you and this is not like that, and the whole time they're running those wheels behind us, doing everything they need to do to get rid of us, our existence completely. And we're worried about it with each other. And then you're going to get ahead of me, so I don't want to support you. And this, and the whole, it's like, you guys, if we don't get together, none of it's going to exist.
Yeah, we're all going to lose.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, though, about our community is that those of us who've been through this before, we talked about this on the last episode, James, is that we've been through this before and we know what this means is when they start coming for us, this is when we circle the wagons and we start coming together. And I'll tell you, this is when really cool art will be created. This is when really cool music will start showing up. This is when queer people will actually start blooming in ways, and community will bloom in ways that it was never expected. Because through this adversity, we, you know, in darkness and dank, but sweetness, how they flower. You know, it's one of those things where I do think that we as a community, especially us elders, you know, we have an obligation to really remind the younger generations. You know, I get really tired of the ones being like, why aren't you grateful and blah. Girl, that's what we fought for. We fought, and our elders before us fought so that these faggots and homosexuals and queer people and all of it. And just so everybody knows, I say the word faggot because I self-identify with that word, and that is my power word, and I love it. But all of those people out there, we deserve that ability to flourish.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to help one another do that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's not a competition.
No, God, no. There's enough room for each and every one of us. There's enough room for each and every one of us.
Yes, it is. If we can do your hair, we should be able to sit alongside you.
Right,
ma'am.
You can do your makeup.
Well,
we should have the same rights.
Right, ma'am. Thank you. And it's not that we want separate, we want different, we want the same. We just want the same.
Right.
Because we are the same. 99.9% of our genetic makeup is identical to every other human being on this planet. There are no separate races. There are no separate different. No. We're all the same. We have different ethnic backgrounds. We have different melanization levels and different histories. but we are all humans. We are all the one. There's
Yes.
one race on this planet of humans, and that is us.
Correct.
And we
Everything
need to,
else is geography.
yeah, exactly. And we need to remember that. We need to remember that
So true.
we can pull ourselves together. I want to thank you both very much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys being here. Coco, we just lost your feed. I don't know what happened.
Her video switched. This was great.
This was a lot of fun. I don't know what happened with her video. I'll bring her back on if she comes back in. But thanks Coco for being here. My God, what a great conversation. I had a great time.
It went so fast.
Yeah, this one went really, really fast. I don't want to, I hate to have to, we ended up having to cut a couple things, but you know what? We will talk about more. We will, next episode, we will be checking back in on Argentina because FIFA still hasn't said whether they're going to actually hold the Federation accountable this time, or if they're going to be able to write a check and get out of it. And we'll also see if Idaho stays on that map of don't travel for our trans siblings, or if it gets company. We've got a lot of information. We'll keep it close. And what we do is we just so that everybody knows, we keep the newswire. So everything from Monday to Monday. So everything from this past Monday up until this coming Monday is our newswire that we will run for the show on the Thursday coming up. So everything that is passed from Monday midday will be into next week. So anything that happened from Monday until next Monday midday, we'll talk about it on next week's show. We'll probably have another guest star. Maybe we'll have Coco back because we still have a lot to talk about. We just touched the tip of the iceberg. You can find me, of course, over at Coco Cabaret or the Palm Cabaret during high season here in Puerto Vallarta, October through May. I'll be doing shows there. You can check out my website, themamatits, TheMamatits.com for all of my information, or check me out on Instagram or Facebook right here. We will have these episodes up and running on our YouTube channel here very soon. We will link that below, and we will be putting our audio files available to stream everywhere you have it, so you guys can keep up with us. Remember, Tits and Tea podcast is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Instagram Live. I apologize for the delay, and I promise we're going to get better about it next week. But we love you all, and thank you for joining us. And James, did you have a good time?
I had a fabulous time. This was great. So excited.
I love it. I love it. Well, James, I'm going to put you backstage, and I'm going to go ahead and close this episode out. But it was fun to chat with you. I love you too. We'll talk soon, my love. All right, my sweet titillations, thank you very much for coming to the second episode of Tits and Tea podcast. I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. James with a J and I are really excited to bring this new project to you. We'll have different guests come each and every week. Sometimes it'll be celebrities, sometimes it'll be an artisan. You never know who it'll be, but it'll be always something fun. We're going to talk about things up and now and in the news cycle, as well as questions from you. If you want to submit any of the questions on Instagram, please feel free to go do so. We love you all. Thank you very much. Remember, always be yourselves, be proud, and always shine like the stars you are. And if you have a prostate, get it checked. We'll see you next time for the Tits and Tea podcast. Bye.